Hi guys, it's Webby. Welcome back to another video. It's been a little while with all the COVID restrictions we've had going on recently, so it's great to be back behind the wheel of a car doing a review, and obviously back behind the camera making another video for everyone to watch. As you can see, today we're looking at the 2020 Toyota Yaris. I've actually chosen the base model Ascent Sport for you to have a look at. Basically because every video I've seen on YouTube recently has been about the top of the range ZI Hybrid. And I figured that not everybody's going to want to buy the top of the range car. There's going to be a lot of people out there who just want the entry level model because that suits their needs. So I managed to get hold of this one through Berwick Toyota, so a big thanks to the guys over there. So I'm going to walk you around the car, show you exactly what you get for your money. Then we'll take it for a bit of a drive and just see how good this new Toyota Yaris is. So I'm going to start off with the engine. Under the bonnet of the Ascent Sport Yaris is actually a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder engine, normally aspirated, so no turbochargers. Puts out 88 kilowatt and 145 newton meters of torque. Now whilst that might not seem a lot to most people, you've got to remember that this is a small city car. It's going to spend most of its life maybe parked in a train station car park, in an office block, or just putting around town. So it's not sort of a hot hatch or anything like that. It purely is a city car. So it doesn't need massive amounts of power. So that engine is plenty enough for this little car. So let's start with safety, because that's really important for everybody these days. We start off with 8 airbags, which for a small car like this is quite remarkable because it doesn't seem much space to put them in. You've then got things like low and high speed autonomous braking. You've got adaptive cruise control. You've got lane keeping aid. You've got evasive steering assist. So it's really got pretty much all the safety stuff you'd want. And particularly for a base model, that's fantastic, because some cars nowadays still miss out on things like adaptive cruise control. So to get it on this entry level model is really good news. So now let's have a bit of a walk around the car and have a look at some of the styling, and point out some of the bits and pieces that you get as standard on the car. Now looking at the outside of the car, it's instantly recognisable as a Yaris, because they haven't really messed with the shape too much. They've just made it a little bit curvy here and there, made the rear hips a little bit bigger and a bit more modern if you like. So yeah, you could walk up to it and think, oh yeah, that's a Toyota Yaris. The old one was around for quite a long time because Toyota have this theory of, if it's not broke, why try and fix it? And there's nothing wrong with that, because look at this and it's very much the same as the old car. So let's have a look at things that I think Toyota can improve on. How many cars these days still come with steel wheels and hubcaps? You'd have thought for the price they're charging for this car, they could at least put some alloy wheels on it. They don't have to be big ones, just alloy wheels. Come on guys, that's not too much to ask, surely. And while you're thinking of the price, be prepared to dig into your pocket for nearly $28,000 for this entry-level model. This one's got metallic paint, but even so, 28 grand and no alloy wheels. Come on Toyota, you can do better than that, surely. So coming around to the back of the car, you've got this nice sort of black section here at the bottom of the window and part of the tailgate. That's actually quite a nice styling feature, I think, and it looks very similar to the Corolla ZI Hybrid I reviewed a few weeks ago. It does come with a reverse camera, but strangely, you've got no parking sensors. And the first time I got in and tried to reverse this car, I was reversing, and it's like, oh, the sensors aren't coming on. And then it suddenly occurred to me it hasn't got parking sensors. So that's something to bear in mind if you are going to look to buy one of these. Just remember to use your rear camera. Now whilst we're at the back of the car, we might as well have a look inside the boot and see how much space we've got. Now as you can see, it's not too bad. It's not the biggest boot in the world. But like most cars, you can obviously fold your seats down. You've got the little lever just at the top here. Push your seats down, and the nice thing is, as you can see, it's pretty flat through there. There's a slight sort of hill as it goes up as it rests on the back seat, but actually it's not too bad. The rear shelf obviously comes out. We can just unclip it at both sides, lift it out, drop the seat, and then look at all that space. That's absolutely huge. So now we've been around the outside of the car, let's have a look inside this new Yaris Ascent Sport. So climbing into the driver's seat, immediately you'll notice how comfortable the seats are. The driver's seat also has height adjustment as well, which is quite useful. Then in front of you, you've got this really nice 3-spoke steering wheel. Buttons on there for setting up things like your adaptive cruise control and all your safety systems, plus also making and receiving phone calls and volume for your radio. So pretty much standard stuff. But like I say, lovely and comfortable. You've got a decent amount of headroom. The driving position is nice and straightforward, so you're not sat at an angle, which is nice. And visibility out of the car is really good as well. Coming over to the centre console, we've got this nice digital display up here for your radio, your Bluetooth, everything else. Thankfully now, Toyota is starting to come to the party because it's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. We've got manual air conditioning, so there's no dual zone climate control, but that's fine. You know, that's more than acceptable in a base model these days. In terms of storage, you've got some really good sort of bins in each of the doors. You've got a couple of good sized cup holders here. You've got a storage mat just in front of the gear selector, another one up here just under the air vents, another one there just above the glove box. So there's plenty of places where you can put stuff. But like I say, everything's really sort of neatly laid out. There's not too many buttons everywhere. It is quite a simple interior, which I think is actually quite nice. So we'll have a look in the back of the car and I'll just show you how much legroom and headroom you get in there as well. Because that's normally something that's a bit lacking in small cars these days. So I'll leave the driver's seat where I'd have it for my sort of driving style, and then we'll jump in the back and see how much space that gives you. Right, so we're in. As you might have seen there, the back door doesn't quite open 90 degrees. Which would probably be a little bit more helpful, you know, getting in and out of the car. So you have to be careful with your head, you don't knock it on here as you get in, because that would probably hurt quite a lot. But in terms of now you're in the back, yes, pretty comfortable. Space for your feet down here, it's actually not too bad for a small car. You can actually get your feet under the driver's seat, which is quite a big thing, because it allows people in the back to stretch their legs a little bit, which is quite nice. There's actually a surprising amount of sort of a bit of a gap between my legs and the back of the seat, but then I guess I don't have my seat too far back when I'm driving. If you've got someone a bit taller than me, then you could be in a bit of trouble. But for sitting behind myself, that would be absolutely fine. Headroom isn't too bad, but again, I'm not particularly tall. If you've got someone in here who's 6 foot, they might struggle a bit. Especially if they've got a driver who's 6 foot as well. So yeah, actual comfort's not too bad. We do have the ISOFIX child seats fixing in the back here. That's quite important. In the doors, there's a nice sort of deep pocket for putting bottles in. But other than that, it's sort of fairly simple back here. The windows are quite a good size actually. So for anybody sitting in the back, it doesn't feel too claustrophobic, which is quite nice. Because often when you're sat in the back and you've got these really small windows, it can feel a bit sort of closed in. But no, it's actually quite good back here. So now we've had a look around the outside and a bit of the inside of the car. Let's actually take it for a drive and see what it drives like. It's generally fairly quiet inside here, but when you do put your foot hard on the accelerator, you can hit the engine a fair bit, which is quite normal for a car with a CVT gearbox, but it does quieten down once the revs drop, obviously. Visibility is really good, so putting out of junctions is no problem at all. The ride comfort's really nice as well. It's not too soft and wallowy, but then again it's not too hard and bumpy like some small cars can be. Toyota seems to have done a really good job with the handling of this car. The suspension's nice, the steering's really nicely weighted. When you turn the wheel, you know what it's doing. You can feel what's happening underneath the front wheels, which obviously gives you a fair bit of confidence as you're driving along. The traffic sign recognition system is really good. So basically the camera behind the mirror will read the speed signs as you're driving along, and then in front of you on the display on the dashboard, it actually tells you the speed limit of the road that you're driving on. A really handy feature, and obviously there to help you avoid any speeding fines. For an entry-level car, everything feels really sort of well put together. You don't feel like you're in some sort of tinny little entry-level car. It does feel really sort of well engineered from Toyota, which is obviously fairly important when you're spending this sort of money. So that's the video on the 2020 Toyota Yaris Ascent Sport. I hope you've enjoyed it. If I've missed anything, or if you've got any questions, then please feel free to leave them for me below, and I'll answer any questions you have. A big thanks again to Berwick Toyota for lending me the car for the weekend to be able to bring this review to you. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bell, and then you'll find out when more reviews like this go live. So thanks once again for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.